There's some serious things happening in the cryptocurrency space right now. The crypto market just stanked a couple of days ago, and we kind of know why. We're also going to look at other companies like FTX and Coinbase and what they're doing, and Binance and what they're doing in the cryptocurrency space in the bear market, what they're buying, who they're partnering with. We're also going to look at some companies that have released some storage systems that look like Google Drive, and then a couple of other applications that you can use to overview the whole crypto space during this time to understand where to look. So guys, if you're interested in this kind of content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and welcome to my channel. So guys, the first thing we're going to view today is obviously I can use CoinMarketCap, you can use CoinGecko or another application. You can make sure you use two at least for comparison, but I'm just going to use here. This is, you can see the current price of Bitcoin is 20,000. Actually, it has gone up. Yesterday it went down up to 18,000 something, and we're going to look at the reason why. And then you can see the market has picked up a bit. So they look at this with market capitalization, looking at the price of the cryptocurrency times its circulating supply to get something we call the market capitalization, which is this. So this is the metric within which this cryptocurrency, the hierarchy within which they're arranged. So you can start with Bitcoin, look at the price, the 24-hour trade volume or the trade price or the change in the price, the 7-day change, the market capitalization, the volume in the past 24 hours, which is this, which is $28 billion, quite a lot of money. And then the current circulating supply of Bitcoin, which is 19 million. Remember, there'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, and that applies to other metrics. That goes into tokenomics and governance of other ecosystems, depending on the supply of your token. Of course, that's Bitcoin and that's its governance system, but obviously other cryptocurrencies go into their own governance models, what kind of tokens they want to release, how many tokens they want to release, the vesting periods of these tokens. So guys, getting into other news, the SEC features again on this channel. The SEC rejects Grayscale's bid to convert its GBTC to Bitcoin ETF. So if you don't know what Grayscale is or the GBTC, essentially what Grayscale is, they explain themselves on their website. This is a traded trust, or why investors choose Grayscale. It's a digital native asset manager for a digital driven world. And of course they write some other words to promote themselves, and these things like they're regulated. You can see build a financial legacy, trusted and regulated. So an institution, you want to play with these people because they're into the regulation thing. But if we see news like this, the SEC rejects their bid. I think they were able to trade a Bitcoin futures contract. They were able to obtain a futures contract. I think so. Don't quote me too much on that one. But what has happened right now, they have a Grayscale fund, which is currently going for about $12. So you participate in this fund to expose yourself to Bitcoin. So what they were applying for was to be able to be allowed to trade the actual Bitcoin, maybe not the actual Bitcoin, but the actual price. So because you're looking at the Bitcoin Spot ETF, which is the exchange traded fund, it's actually stated here. The SEC has denied Grayscale's bid to convert its flagship product to a spot-based Bitcoin ETF. And in the lead-up, Grayscale pushed back on a previous argument made by the SEC and built up its legal resources. Guys, of course here they quote so many other regulations that they're following and things like that, protection of investors and stuff like that. But this is kind of a squaggle or a scribble, whatever is going on between the SEC and these companies, because they're trying to trade more Bitcoin and make more money and expose it to as many people. So basically grow out their company. So this is, I guess, some of the biggest news that led to the downturn in the cryptocurrency market. When this news came out, the crypto market was shocked, was surprised, but I guess we're seeing a short recovery in the cryptocurrency market right now. So of course you can learn more about Grayscale. Now, if you want to know a little bit more detail in how they're playing, how they're engaging in the cryptocurrency space, you can look at some of the assets they're actually listing. So they're listing the trust for the basic attention token, which is Brave browser, one of the biggest browsers in the cryptocurrency space right now, if not the biggest. Privacy protection, and the Authentic native token, it follows other things like privacy protection, implementation of wallets, Web3 wallets, and easy to navigate the cryptocurrency space if you're using it, especially the features they implement. So the basic attention token, Bitcoin Cash, the Bitcoin Trust Fund, guys, they support also Ethereum Classic, or rather they provide trust funds for those things, Chainlink, decentralized Mana, so Ethereum Classic, Ethereum Filecoin, and then other things, Horizon, Litecoin. So you want to look at some of those details to see where these financial institutions are looking, especially now in the bear market. So I think that's it for your news. And there was a official tweet from the Grayscale people, how the SEC refused their application and how they're filing back. I think they took this to court. Our team has filed a petition petition for review with the DC Circuit Court of Appeals, and this document officially initiates a lawsuit contesting the SEC's decision. So they're taking this to court. They feel so deeply about this because I guess they've been working so hard, just like most companies that have been working so hard to understand the regulation around the products they're building, but they seem to never get good regulation initially. So I guess they feel deeply about that, and that's why they're pushing this to higher levels that can help them. And then in other news, now we're looking at a company which is BlockFi. So you look at this, FTX seeks to acquire troubled crypto lender BlockFi. Now, if you look at the details, the past news, BlockFi's 25 million price tag is a tiny fraction of its valuation of a 350 million Series D funding round last March. So valued the company at $3 billion, and the information reported last June, BlockFi sought new funding at a $5 billion valuation. So guys, you see all these kinds, how the bear market treats these companies. So this company was valued at those many billions, and it was almost valued at a $5 billion valuation. But now we have FTX looking to buy some of its shares. Now this is the source here, a source with knowledge of, guys, this is rumors, it hasn't yet officially been communicated. So a source with knowledge of the process told the Block that the credit deal gave FTX an option of 50% of BlockFi equity. The remainder would be purchased for $25 million. Another source also said. But guys, these are rumors, and I think this is as far as I'll get into this news. But we're looking at how the bear market completely destroys some companies, and before they get to that destruction point, the few that have been successful in the crypto space actually use that opportunity to buy up these things. And that's how the markets work. In the bear market, you don't get scared and leave the ecosystem and go do something else. You're also going to find problems as you're doing that something else. So you have to stick with the thing that you know, the craft that you're learning, and you know, through good and bad times, so that you can find those opportunities. And in other news, Coinbase, which sometimes does shady things, Coinbase will reportedly provide crypto user data to the US government. Now, if you look at the details, of course, this is a quote from the tweet of Watcher Guru, some company or people or whatever Twitter person identity you should follow, because they put out some good news out there, and especially in little chunks. So Coinbase, a Coinbase tracer features use data that is fully sourced from online, publicly available, and do not include any personally identifiable information for anyone or any proprietor Coinbase user data. So what they're trying to allude to here is that they're trying to say that they don't use the user's data. They use publicly available data that they compile and then share with the US government. But of course, the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, that is the one that they're talking about, that they share this data with. But of course, we can't know what to trust and what not to trust. And we know this also dates back in a 1.3, you can see right here, the agreement was signed in September last year, which it had a maximum value of $1.37 million. I actually covered this in one of the videos I did last year. So $1.37 million. Moreover, this contract is among several other contracts signed between the exchange and the US government. Now guys, if you want to look more deeply into this, I think this is a rabbit hole that takes us almost nowhere. There'll constantly be these backdoor deals signed by these companies, and unless they're transparent about them, we can never truly know what's going on. So that is the Coinbase news with the US government trading some data that's hopefully not users sensitive data. And then MicroStrategy, one of the biggest proponents of Bitcoin, this guy essentially, if you look at the statistics, he owned one of every, I think, 161 Bitcoins in existence. So guys, when this guy continues to buy Bitcoin in the bear market, he's not just buying Bitcoin in the bear market, he's buying one of the most treasured assets in the whole world. So we're looking at a single company controlling this much BTC. So people that are selling their Bitcoin and panicking should really think about some of these things. But however, good on to MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy has purchased an additional 480 Bitcoins for $10 million at an average price of 20,817 thousand per Bitcoin as of 28th of June 2022. So MicroStrategy holds 129,699 Bitcoins acquired for $3.98 billion at an average price of $30,664 per Bitcoin. And this is a tweet from Michael Saylor, who's the CEO of MicroStrategy. So that is the news there. We see people continuously bullish on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because they understand the value, they've done the research, and they understand what they hold. So that is the news in Michael Saylor buying those things. Now, what you saw here was essentially a tweet from CZ Binance, another 145 million, because Binance has partnered with none other than the biggest social media personnel when you look at TikTok, and also spreads out in other social media. So meet our new brand ambassadors. So these are some of the companies doing these partnerships in the bear market they're building. So Drive crypto education, because apparently this person is easy to explain things. Drive exclusive Kaby Lame NFT collections, going to release an NFT collections for this guy. Debunk crypto Web3. So these are some of the things that these companies are doing. You're looking at other sports, other influential personnel like Ronaldo partners with Binance again. So these are some of the highest level social media personnel partner with Binance. So Binance and Nifty Newsletter and so on. So we also have Eminem and Snoop Dogg switched between themselves and their Bored Ape Yacht Club characters in their newest music video. You understand there's a collection of very popular NFTs called the Bored Apes, and of course we're seeing more celebrities constantly using them in their day-to-day lives, or in some of the activities they're doing in this new virtual emerging space. Then what's interesting is that the other day we covered the Axie Infinity Ronin bridge, which essentially this bridge allows them to users transfer their tokens from their ecosystem to the Ethereum ecosystem and vice versa. We know in the past they were hacked for over $630 million, guys. Now, I guess Axie Infinity has such a good reputation with its funders to the point that, check this out. Battle-hardened Ronin bridge to Axie reopens following $600 million hack. They were able to refund their people. So the Ronin bridge tied to Axie Infinity is back up with a new design after Sky Mavis introduced a circuit breaker system and daily withdrawal limits. So Sky Mavis, developers of the popular play-to-earn non-fungible token NFT game Axie Infinity, have announced that the Ronin bridge is back online 3 months after it was hacked for more than $600 million. So Ronin bridge is an Ethereum sidechain built for Axie Infinity, and it enables users to transfer assets between sidechain and the Ethereum mainnet. So on March 29th, 173,600 Ether and $25.5 million of a stablecoin USDC was drained from the main bridge after hackers managed to gain access to private validator keys, and the hack was worth $620 million actually, according to Tuesday. Now, with this new thing, they were able to upgrade. That's what I was looking for. They were able to refund. So in April, around 46,000 of that ETH has already been compensated after Binance provided a bridge to its exchange so that the users could swap out the wrapped Ethereum for the actual Ethereum. So liquidity was sourced from Axie Infinity balance and founders funds to support the move. Binance also led a $150 million funding round to help Sky Mavis repay Axie Infinity. So guys, Binance in the news again. Binance making more friends again in the social media space, in the play to earn space, and in other spaces. We've seen Binance donating to COVID victims. We've seen Binance donating. I'm not a Binance shill. I'm not shilling stuff that I talk about on this channel. What I'm trying to allude to is that look at the companies driving real world use cases, actual value propositions in the cryptocurrency space, spreading out their value, and then look at that in this bear market and make your educated financial decisions. Now, what you're seeing on the screen, I'm not sort of trying to point to any particular ecosystem here, but I wanted to lay this out for you to see. Now, the block research, these guys do amazing research in the cryptocurrency space. And this tweet is about Starknet has attracted a fresh influx of game creators and is currently ranked 9th amongst the gaming networks. About 30% of all projects in the Starknet ecosystem are related to NFTs and games. So guys, if you're into Starknet, you can look more into them. But why I show this to you today is because you can see in the gaming arena currently the Binance Smart Chain or the BNB chain has the most 587 participants or games. Number of games by chain. Ethereum has 377, Polygon 189, Solana, Wax Blockchain, Avalanche, Engine, Immutable X, Starknet then appears there. Then we have Gala Games. Some of the other biggest names are Gala Games. See where they are, but they're really big. Gala Games, Ronin, which we've just looked at, and then others. So WeMix, I've never really heard of that. Cardano, I didn't know that. Then we have Flow Blockchain, which is also big. Clayton, we see it everywhere. Harmony and Arbitrum. So guys, these are all big names that we've just seen here. Literally the only one I had never heard of was WeMix, and also I'd never heard that Cardano is in this space actively. So that's pretty interesting for the Cardano people out there. And then guys, we see in other news, the platform that released Fetch.AI released an application that's like Google Drive. You can essentially store your data there. Of course, you can look at their video here, which is talking about Dabba Flow. I can play it for a short while. Okay, so guys, it's a 2-minute video and you can check it out on your own later. But essentially, this is what the platform looks like. You log into this platform, you can get the test tokens because it's not yet on the main tokens, and then you can upload files just like a Google Drive standard. You can click upload, then you can drag and drop the files. You pay a small fee. In this case, you're going to use the test tokens. You click upload and then you'll be able to upload the file, which you'll be able to share with other people. So I guess the product is still in development. There's a few things they're ironing out, but it's amazing to see that we have a file sharing project that's on a decentralized ecosystem, which means more use cases for their token. And that's amazing to see such products developing in the crypto space. And then guys, the last platform I wanted to show you is this platform, which is Dabba. I've covered it on my videos before, but you can use this to look at games, DeFi, gambling, exchanges, collectibles. And the way they list this is that, for example, if we go to games, or if we go to all categories, you then see that in terms of number of users, PancakeSwap, which is the leading DEX on the Binance Smart Chain, is the most used. But then you can also view things in terms of volume, and in terms of 24-hour volume. If this you can see that Uniswap version 3 has $3.7 billion that has gone through it in the last 24 hours. There's another one called Crow Finance, which has $1 billion that has gone through it, and the balance of 2-point-something billion dollars, and the number of users are just 23. So if you want to look at these metrics and say, okay, there's not that many users, a lot of money. Curve Finance, 228 million, 425 users, 2 billion. You're like, okay, that's a good balance. So you can use some of these things to view. For example, PancakeSwap has 223,000 users, $82 million, 75 million on the exchange. So I think that's it's a good balance. When you look at Uniswap, you look at billions because it's the biggest DEX on Ethereum. So you can look at different platforms, different games, different ecosystems. You can also isolate them in terms of blockchain, for example, Ethereum, EOS, Tron, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and so on. This will not show you all the upcoming projects, and you'll not see all the projects that are there, especially the unknown projects, but it will give you a rough array, especially now in the bear market. It will give you a rough outlook of what's going on in this space, and you can make very good decisions, especially if you see the high demand projects that are on sale right now. And then of course they will talk about some things like wrapped Ethereum if you go deep in here. So I just wanted to give a short overview of what this is. Wrapped tokens represent a mirror of another token. The reason why I brought this here is that when you're looking at this, you might see something called wrapped Ethereum, but it's because if you have the actual Ethereum, and this applies to, take this knowledge and apply to all the other cryptocurrencies. Some have different mechanisms, but it depends on what you're doing. So we shall use wrapped Ethereum. So sometimes you're required to use wrapped Ethereum. So you may ask yourself, what is that? So you have Ethereum, which is the actual Ethereum, and you can change it for Ethereum. So it's a nice website that explains that. Put plainly, wrapped Ethereum is wrapped Ethereum, but let's start by introducing the players. So this goes into a little details of explaining the tokens, but it the takeaway is that you get the actual Ethereum. You can change into another Ethereum, which is the WETH token, which you can then use in a whole other suite of DeFi applications like lending and borrowing, especially if those platforms do not support the native Ethereum token. So that token can allow you, or even within Ethereum itself, it can allow you to participate in other DeFi things that are not supported by the main Ethereum token, because the main Ethereum token does not subscribe to the ERC20 standard, which is based on itself. So they're looking at other future improvements to actually move the actual Ethereum token to the ERC20 standard. But there's a lot of innovations and a lot of things, roadmaps that the Ethereum ecosystem is looking at, and it can get truly convoluted because it seems there's a lot of kinks they're looking to iron out. But I just thought this might be a nice takeaway if you're looking at these other synthetic assets and wrapped tokens out there. Alright guys, I hope you learned something in this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.